So it is right around 1 o'clock p.m. now on Monday, August 25th, 2025. According to Google Weather, it is 79 degrees in Boston today. Boston, Mass, 79, and today would be right around, so Monday, see that, Monday, and 2 p.m. So it's maybe shortly after 1. I know Google Maps likes to jump forward to the next hour when they're providing the temperature readings for the general Boston area. Yeah, I was correct. 1:13, 1:14 p.m. I'm always right on the money when it comes to being able to sort of intuitively deduct what time of the day it is. I also don't tend to get lost very often, although that kind of changed when I started losing my eyesight 5 years ago. But I still usually have a pretty good idea of where I am geographically speaking, even when I'm not the one driving a vehicle. Anyway, I've been sitting here at my computer for the last, 45 minutes trying to get some stuff done and sending emails, checking work-related stuff, etc., and have to record the fact that there's been someone in the bathroom of 78 behind this kitchen sink smacking and banging things against that wall for the last 45 minutes. It started happening when I went over to that sink and started trying to wash dishes once again and rinse out cups to use for coffee. Right now, it's very quiet. So whoever keeps accessing that bathroom does so intermittently and likes to smack the wall when I happen to be standing at that sink to let me know that they're just a few inches away behind that wall. It only happens when I physically stand at the sink or the stove, and I'm just a couple of feet away from that wall. Somebody who likes to sit in that bathroom and evidently engages in a lot of perving and creeping, eavesdropping, and the widely reported use of surveillance devices in this living space for the neighbors in 88 and 78 and 76 to see what I do. They like to let me know that they have knowledge of what I do on a moment-by-moment basis. So now the smacking stopped because I'm not standing at the sink anymore. I'm sitting here. I haven't gone back into my bathroom yet. The last time that I went into my bathroom at 3:45 this morning, there was no slamming and banging from the bathroom of 78, but there was an insane amount of marijuana smoke coming from that same bathroom. So there's always someone in there perving and creeping and engaging in a lot of psychotic, aggressive intrusion from behind that wall. It doesn't matter if they don't smack the wall and instead they use a directed energy device to harass me when I'm sitting on the toilet, or they deliberately blow and propagate sickening, overpowering amounts of marijuana and cigar smoke into that living space. That is marijuana and cigar smoke. It's not anything else. And I was only peeing, by the way. There's no reason for that to keep happening, even at 3:45 a.m. when I quietly go in there to use the facilities. Nobody should have any knowledge of what I do. And yet the smoke and the fumes, the banging and the smacking only occur at the moment that I'm sitting on that toilet, not at any point before, not at any point after. It's also important to note that the temperature in this unit right now is hotter than it is in the hallway, which means that they've finally turned the heat off in this building. 87.3 in this unit. Holy cow, it's hot in here. Wow, but it's 79 in Boston. Now it's 85, 86.9. I'm not sure why it's so hot in here. Do they have the heat on in here? I mean, it's feeling extremely hot, like way hotter than it should be with the window wide open. Do you see that? The window's open. Air conditioner's going. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's so hot in here. But anyway, it's hot. And yet they have turned the heat in the building down. You know how you can tell? Because it's not 87 or 85 degrees in the hallway anymore. It's a lot cooler. So over here by the door to the hallway, the temperature in this unit is still 86.4. That's really hot. I can't tell if they have the heat on in this unit or not. What I do know is that the temperature in the hallway is significantly cooler, as it should be. It's a giant wide open space that quickly takes on the temperature of the external Boston area when the heat is not on. I mean, it's really hard to maintain a 20-degree temperature difference between a giant, huge, wide open area as the kind that you have in the front stairwell and the hallway area and the outside. But that's what was happening last week, and I kept reporting it in almost a dozen videos that I made about how the heat in the hallway was hotter than the temperature outside by 20-something degrees when the Greenville group was claiming they didn't have the heat on. And yet for days and days and days, like over 7 days, the temperature in the hallway was like 86, 82, but the temperatures outside were 65, 67. right? That's like a 18, 20 degree difference that can only be maintained for days at a time unless the Greenville group is forcing the situation by having the heat on. Yeah, 79 degrees here in the front stairwell. 79, 80.1. That's like 6 degrees cooler than the temperature in my unit at my door. All right, so there's my door. It was 86 point something. $79.7. Yeah, so they turned the heat off finally in this building because the temperature in this giant vaulted stairwell area should be significantly cooler than the temperature in my unit. My unit is much smaller, it's enclosed. Even if I have the windows open and the air conditioner going, this huge area is like 3 times the size of my unit. So it should always be cooler than my unit, even when the heat is on. And yet last week I demonstrated in half a dozen videos or more that the temperature in this giant vaulted ceiling area was significantly hotter than the temperature in my unit. And the temperature in this vaulted ceiling area was like 20 degrees hotter than the temperatures outside. So they had the heat on. I mean, you can't maintain that kind of a temperature difference for 7-10 days at a time when the temperatures outside are at like 62, 66 degrees and the temperatures in here are 85 unless you have the heat on, and they're stupid and they can't figure that out. Right? This is a huge this is not an insulated area, right? Do you see that up there? That's like a piece of wood covering that skylight. It used to be a glass skylight with no insulation. Now it's a piece of wood with no insulation. Whatever the temperature is outside in Boston should quickly trickle down into this area and cause a temperature in this area to be significantly cooler than my unit and closer to the temperatures outside. But last week, the temperatures in here were well over 84, 85 degrees on a consistent basis. And I demonstrated that in multiple videos. So now they finally turned the heat off and it's much cooler in here than it is in my unit. I still can't figure out why the temperature in my unit is 85 right now, even though the temperatures outside are 79, but you know, whatever.
Order now at ships.com/360. Terms apply. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring to the stage the man of the hour, the man of the month, the man of the lifetime. He's inspired everyone around the globe with albums like Iron Man, Bulletproof, Big Scale, More Fish.
It's a bit loud. They keep telling me they can hear me talking or shouting. I mean, what the hell is that right there? I mean, don't listen, right? When it's the middle of the day, whoever complains about a noise issue has to prove that the noise is greater and is exceeding the decibel level that is permitted for residential areas during the day. And usually you can't do that unless you have a decibel meter.